Welcome to Some Dare Call It Conspiracy. I am Brent Lee.
And I'm Neil Sanders.
And as you might tell from the title and length of this episode, this isn't your usual deep dive. We just want to have a chat, really. We want to talk about some of the stuff that's been going on, some of the stuff that's trended, and just general conspiracy chat. What have you been up to, Neil?
I've been to a concert. I went to one of those. I went to a popular music concert. That the kids enjoy so much nowadays. It was brilliant. Actually, I went to see Jedi Mind Tricks on their last tour.
Hell yeah!
Supported by R.A. the Rugged Man and Immortal Technique, and a lot of people might sort of know these guys because basically they're kind of, for want of a better expression, they're into conspiracy theories. Like, you know, Immortal Technique's done songs about MK Ultra. He's done songs about 9/11. He's done songs talking about aliens and Nazi experimentation, things like this. You know, Jedi Mind Tricks have done an entire track sampling David Icke.
Yeah,
and they talk about a lot of different things. You know, they talk again similar sorts of things. There was a time. This is what a lot of people don't know. Probably pre-internet, or sort of when the internet was a lot more sort of basic than it is now, and not so sort of ubiquitous. Like, there was an element of sort of underground, sort of kind of lefty people that were into conspiracy theories, that sort of, they distrusted the government. They'd seen certain things. Ironically, they'd seen sort of right-wing things like Andy Weaver, what was that called? Ruby Ridge. And, you know, they'd also seen sort of examples of police corruption and misarrests concerning people that were blamed for IRA bombings and stuff like that. There was a massive distrust of governments coming off the back of conservative misrule again, like, you know, distrust of Thatcher government, etc., etc., etc. And just in general, people sort of entertained in a far less rabid way, I think, but they entertained conspiracy theories. Like JFK came out, that film was very, very popular, but that obviously played off the back of things that were floating around. But the culture was different then, because you had to actually, it's really, really difficult to stumble across. Like now, you can just, people will send you links for whatever. Like, to find a book or someone talking, like, you know, particularly given the limitations of the internet and not being able to see like whole videos and stuff like that, you'd have to send away and then read books or watch entire DVDs, like, just to get a tiny, tiny bit of information that was often wrong. But damn it, it felt worth it. And
now you get it in the family WhatsApp chat.
Yeah, exactly. This is the thing. But this was the thing, and then underground hip hop was supposed to be anti-authoritarianism, and it all plays into it, which it does really. You know, this suspicion of authority and suspicion of establishment figures. You know, if they're lying to us about, you know, something that's quite tangible, like those people didn't actually plant that bomb, and those people weren't actually connected to the IRA in the way that they were, is it really that much of a stretch? And then you used to have Iran-Contra, you have people finding out about COINTELPRO and things like that. Is it that much of a stretch to say that, well, if aliens did exist, of course they would lie to us about them? And it's not. It's really not that much of a stretch at all. In fact, it follows that logic if we want to really be sort of honest about it. So JMT and Immortal Technique, they played into this idea of this sort of intelligent underground conspiracy theories. You know, Rage Against the Machine and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like to a lesser extent, to a sort of more of simplified. You could even make the argument that the System of a Down did similar stuff. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, there's a lot of like anti-war, anti-government sentiment in that.
Yeah, and I think it comes, and it does as well. It comes from a certain sort of like a demographic that again, you know, they're aware of certain elements, like, you know, they might have seen friends that were sort of potentially unfairly treated by the police. No, usually on sort of minor stuff like drugs and stuff like that. But it all builds a picture of
corrupt power structures.
Precisely, yeah, of an unfair system and corrupt power structures. Like there was a police officer, a very famous police officer, that was involved in a very famous case, and he was the local police officer for the village where I lived, and he was a hero. Like I won't say what case it is because it will be obvious who he was. Actually, he's dead. Don't matter. It was the Black Panther case. Like he was this bloke. I think he was a rapist, and he was breaking into people's houses with a shotgun, and he was involved in the arrest of it. I know at least 3 people when I was at school, he planted drugs on them to get them arrested. Now, if we're being honest, these lads were scumbags. But, you see certain things like that, and it starts to inform a worldview. And this is the thing as well that we always try to get across as well, that conspiracy theories aren't idiots. They're not stupid. The people that are searching for something. They're people who've got a very creative mind, and they've got, sometimes their imagination might get the better of them. Like we've all been guilty of that.
Like me.
But you're searching for something different. Like you're searching for answers, and you're searching for them in places where, well, you can't go to the mainstream, really, can you? You've got to sort of go to these sort of like informed superiors, like-minded individuals, people that you think of as peers and stuff like that, to get this. And so, through music is certainly one way to get that.
Yeah, totally. I was so into like Immortal Technique and Jedi Mind Tricks. So those two were the more conspiratorial rather than, say, R.A. the Rugged Man. R.A. talks a lot about more like government corruption and that type of thing.
And his own personal problems with, he's obviously he's had sort of family problems with regards to Agent Orange affecting certain members of his family in really, really tragic ways. But again, that it all feeds into it, doesn't it? I mean, Rugged Man. The first time it wasn't the first time I'd heard him, but the first time I he clicked with me was on Uncommon Valor. He'd actually been played to me years prior by somebody that was far more into hip hop than I was, and far more knowledgeable about it. A friend of mine called Paul Rowe. He played me the Ruckus stuff, Stanley Kubrick.
Yeah,
and he told me all about Rugged Man, and but again, it's very difficult to get hold of. And then I heard him on the Uncommon Valor track, which is, let's face it, possibly one of the finest crafted verses ever. It's intricate. It tells a story. It's incredibly technical in the way that it's delivered. It's astonishing. It's brilliant. It's an absolute.
Yeah, it paints a very, very vivid picture of a day in the life of his dad while he's in the Vietnam War, and the things that he told him. It does put you right in that situation. It's so good. That's what a great artist can do.
Absolutely,
just take you away and put you into this scenario. Yeah, it's amazing. The first time I heard R.A. was on the Sound Bombing compilation. That's when I first heard him. I think Sound Bombing 3.
Yeah, absolutely. He's brilliant. He's faster on the one. Oh, what's it called? I can't remember. Gotta Be Dope. The bit on that is faster than Eminem on Rap God. I think Eminem is sort of 600 and odd and BPM, and he's faster essentially. I don't know whether it's BPM or words per minute.
Yeah, syllables per minute.
I don't know, but his mastery of the way that he fits words into sentences to make them flow is just astonishing.
And no one has his voice. No one else has his voice. You can hear him instantly.
Oh yeah,
he jumps on the track and you're like, all right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Full package.
Yeah, he's the total package, and it all flows. It's all bouncy, and it's like Eminem, right? Okay, you listen to Eminem's more recent stuff, and you go, "That's incredibly clever." But Eminem now is a bit like Dream Theater. Do you know what I mean? In as much as we all know it's very good and whatnot, but we're not. I'm not that bothered. We just want to hear you talking about the mental stuff.
Eminem is nothing compared to Tech Nine. I've been a Tech Nine fan for absolute years, and R.A. did a song with Tech Nine and Chris Calico, and he held his own on that.
Oh, he smashed it. Totally. I'll tell you the other thing is that R.A. is a showman and a half. Was
he good?
Oh, he was so good. It's the second time I've seen him. I saw him in a shed with about, how many people were there? About 30 odd people watching him play in a shed in Huddersfield. And it was just
nice. Those are always the best gigs.
It was mental. Like, and he could have played in London. He could have played anywhere. He said, "I just picked this." And everyone just like had a go at me on the internet. Like, I don't know why. And it's like, well, this is why. Like, look at where you are. But right, Poison Pen opened, and he had DJ Static. Poison Pen was just brilliant. Just
awesome.
Yeah, just absolute, just slamming, hardcore, hard East Coast, nasty sort of braggadocious street rap. Just brilliant. Had DJ Static, did all the crossfader behind the back, did all the sort of chopping it fast, and did the mixing it with his nose and all. Just brilliant, absolutely brilliant. But the whole thing started late. It was supposed to start about 7:15. It didn't start till about 8:00. And so Penn came on, did his thing. Rugged Man came on, and right from the off, he was like just destroying it. Just absolutely, just the whole place was going mental. And I was a bit concerned, to be quite honest, because I was like, he's going at this like a headliner. He's coming across as a headliner. Is it going to be a bit of a? Is he going to blow the rest of them off stage? And in a way, he did. But it kind of worked out, because like Immortal Technique had the gravitas, and Jedi Mind Tricks is Jedi Mind Tricks. But Rugged Man was just sensational, like absolutely just like astonishing. And he did a really long set, to be quite honest, as well.
I was just going to ask that.
Yeah, really, really long set. Did everything that you'd want him to do. Did like stuff off the first album. Got some guy on to beatbox to help along with Stanley Kubrick. Did a lot of stuff off the new album. He played let the whole Ghostface verse play out on is it Killer's Squad or whatever it's called, or Killers? I forget what it's called. But the one with Ghostface on, where he says killer a lot. It's very good. Right. And but yeah, people were going off as well. There was mosh pits, like people were just backing around. Like, it was ridiculous. Like, as I say, I was a bit worried that he was going to smash it up a bit too much. There was barely any break. I think Technique just basically came out as soon as he'd finished, basically, because they were running out of time already, really late. Technique just smashed it. He just had an aura that basically it was like your dad's here, or your uncle that you respect here, or whatever. Like, whereas Rugged Man was all fun. Like, Technique came out and he had everybody in the room just eating out the palm of his hand straight away. Like, Rugged Man was brilliant, right. But Technique just had something that was different. He had this sort of aura, as I say. Opened with the opening track from Revolutionary Volume 1. Played Proving Coke. Played what else did he do? Finished on Obnoxious. Did a lot of stuff off Revolutionary. Did Third World. Yeah, just absolutely just brilliant.
Did he do the Bin Laden song?
No, he didn't do the Bin Laden song. Now, here's the thing, and I've got a sneaky suspicion that he checked himself when saying the F word on a few times, because I believe that. Yeah. I know that all of them's opinion of that has changed. They look at saying the F word as like not so much homophobic, but so much as dissing in the street, playground, calling one another weak. Now, you could make the argument that that's worse. That's like tacit, like homophobic.
That's totally homophobic.
Yeah, quite.
It is.
Yeah, and of course it is. Like, Now, I watched an interview with Vinnie Paz, actually. Like, he says, for example, he's like, and he was actually talking about his religion, but he was like, he thinks it's wrong to be homophobic, and that he's totally sort of down for gay marriage. Like, he's got no problem with it at all. And I think this interview was in 2016 and stuff like that. And it didn't quite sit right, because there is that song on As Above, So Below, where the chorus, like, the one. Like,
I was listening to it recently, or just like a load of the albums, and I just thought, wow, how like un-PC it is, really.
Yeah, a lot of it is.
Like, just it's problematic,
It's problematic, but it's problematic in the same way that, like,
it's not serious.
No.
It's like South Park.
Yeah, I'd go with that. It's not hateful. Like, there's certain black metal, for example, that is just purely hateful with it and stuff like that. And there is
Right.
some elements of hip hop that is purely hateful, to be honest. Let's be honest. Let's not.
Yeah, totally.
But I never personally took that when I was listening. It never made me want to hate gay people listening to
No, totally not.
Immortal Technique or thing. Like, that maybe we're giving them a bit of a break because we're fans and stuff like that. But that's the honest truth. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, and people have got to appreciate that. I know this makes us sound a little bit like a sort of apologist or whatever, but times have changed remarkably quickly. Like, I mean, maybe they haven't actually. Like, because if you look at the attitudes of the 90s to the attitudes of the 70s, they're night and day in a lot of places. If you look at the attitudes from now to the 90s, which is an even farther stretch, a lot of things that were actually just, standard on the television in the 90s, like the hilarious gay character. Like, there's punchlines in classic comedies like Only Fools and Horses where the joke is that he's with a gay person, like that he sat in a restaurant with a gay person, and that in itself is the hilarity that you're with the person that happens to be gay. Do you know what I mean? Like, we've come a long way in a relatively short time, haven't we? So
yeah, and if like you said, they're actually checking themselves on stage and not saying those words because they're moving along with the times. Well, that's like they're trying to move forward.
Now, I don't think Vinnie Paz checked himself, but like,
but Immortal Technique did it.
Yes, as far as I remember. Now, like, maybe not all the times. And to be quite honest, I don't really care. Like, I'll have to be brutally honest, and I hope that anybody listening to this and yourself and everybody knows that, like, I could be accused of being a woke little bastard at times, right? Okay, but I still don't actually find that particularly troublesome or bothersome or worrisome. Like, it's
at the end of the day, like, to me, it's hip hop and hip hop music and MC in itself. There's like a big tie-in with battle rapping.
Yeah.
So like you do say the nastiest shit to each other.
That exactly right. Yeah.
And the funniest shit and the most outrageous shit, whatever can make the crowd kind of go crazy.
Oh,
it's just a bit of fun. That's why I wanted to, speak to someone like Thesaurus on here.
Yeah.
About like what's it like now, dropping some of those punchlines. And do you like kind of pull back or hold back sometimes, or what's it like in this kind of in this new atmosphere?
Well, that's always been the case with battle rap, isn't it? You had the Pat Stay battle where he's doing the autistic jokes and stuff like that, and people like, has he gone too far? You've got that famous, was it Sharon, who basically did the bar about the lad's brother that died in a car crash or something, like, and
yeah, it's always about crossing that line, isn't it? Yeah.
Did you see that caustic battle where he basically exposed the lad for cheating on his wife?
Yeah.
Jesus. Like, I forget his name, but yeah, like, well, this is the thing, and but what you're saying is absolutely right. Like, Technique and JMT, they do battle rap rhymes, don't they? Like, they very intricate. Like, they're trying to sprinkle a bit of like knowledge and whatnot. Like, and here's the bizarre crap, right? Okay, in the day, they'd have been described as woke.
Yeah,
because they're trying to teach you about the government and like racism and stuff like that, and inequality and political intrigue and stuff like that. Back in the day, that would be considered woke. Like, oh God, not that. You're bringing up like the corruption of JFK and stuff again. Oh, bloody hell. Like, yeah, so interesting.
I'm pretty sure like most of that kind of movement would have pretty much rejected Blue Lives Matter.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's like become a part of the truth movement.
Which makes no sense.
Like, it is also very strange.
Yeah, totally. I think they'd say like fuck 12, to be quite honest. Like,
yeah,
but yeah, Rugged Man finished on. I can never remember the name of it. The one where he talks about the gang initiation gone wrong.
Oh, you mean Immortal Technique? Yeah, Dance with the Devil.
Dance with the Devil. Yeah. And now I've seen him twice before in Immortal Technique, and like the last time that I saw it, I was like, I don't do that because it's a very long song and it goes on for ages.
And it's very, very disturbing.
Yeah. First time I saw him do it, it was like goosebumps because it was incredible. Second time I saw him do it, I was like, come on, time's ticking, pal. Like now, when he did it at Manchester, like I don't know whether he slightly sped it up or whatever, but he got it just spot on, just perfect. Did it, whole thing, hit hard, was grisly, was sort of real, was amazing. Did that, then finished on Obnoxious, and then there was about literally 5 minutes because we're getting really late and the venue was shutting in about an hour. JMT was supposed to do an hour and a half set and they only did an hour because basically the venue was closing and the bloke was literally on stage telling them to finish. But
oh man.
But yeah, JMT were amazing. Like they did. What did they? They opened up with that. Lie, 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 lie. I'm a mastermind with a faster rhyme. This is work, not how I pass the time. Just it was just like that all the way through, just banger after banger after banger.
Who do you have on stage with him?
Esoteric.
Was Esoteric?
Yeah, Esoteric and Zarface and Army of the Pharaohs.
Yeah.
Eso was killing it. Like he did an Army of the Pharaohs song on his own, I think, and they did a bit where they were just sort of like playing like choruses or best bits of. Oh, you remember this JMT song? You remember this JMT song? And it was a bit like, yeah, play them. But they
probably were going to play it in the last half hour, but they got
potentially
kicked off.
Yeah. This was they got the impression that they had to chop a big chunk out of the set essentially. but yeah, they played a lot of they played everything that you wanted to play basically, like span the entire career basically. They did a lot of Vinnie Paz solo stuff as well. Did Cheesesteaks, which was incredible.
Did they do that in the Days?
Yes, End of Days. That's what it's called, not Home of the Brave. What do I keep calling it that for?
Yeah, Block McLeod sings that in the chorus.
That'll be it. Yeah. But yes, they did. He did do that. Now that's an interesting one because it talks about chemtrails and it talks about the polio vaccine killing people. It talks about finding skeletons on the moon. It talks about. It has a sort of general fluoride in the water and its connection to Prozac and stuff like that. It's basically like a sort of tick list for like.
It's like a bingo card.
Yeah, basically. Now, it'd be very interesting to see what of those he still believes and what he doesn't, which is a bit, it's a banging song. I remember when that came out, okay, and I first put that on, I was like, this is the combination of literally everything that I'm interested in at this precise moment. And also it was like, can you imagine that? Can you imagine being sampled and put on a Jedi Mind Tricks or an Immortal Technique song? That became like, I really need to do that. It didn't actually happen. But yeah, the idea of that was like, and in many ways, and he maybe regrets this, maybe he doesn't, whatever. It gave David Icke more credibility, I felt.
Yeah, totally. I mean, people like William Cooper already had like that credibility.
Yeah.
Among the hip hop crowd, but yeah, that probably helps solidify David Icke as one of the good ones.
Because to be fair, the sample that is used where he's talking about mass hypnosis from people like this, newsreaders, blah, blah.
It's an oblong box in the corner of the room.
He's not wrong. He's taking like that aspect of David Icke there's an element of truth to it.
It's exaggerated, isn't it? It's an exaggerated version of what's kind of really going on.
Yeah. Yeah, well, but we've both seen like how media can be manipulated and stuff like that. Like, even in very minor ways that can change things to change the narrative quite a lot, and not necessarily like in a malicious sense. Like, like, so what he's talking about there is not wrong. Like, it kind of ties into this, like, there's something that was people were saying earlier. It's like, I can't believe that the news media is not covering this like train derailment in Ohio. And it's like, well, if the news isn't covering it, how the fuck do you know about it? Like, I mean, because I'll be honest, where I found out about it? On the news. Like, that's where I saw about it. Like, I don't get like a lot of people phoning me from Ohio or whatever. But anyway, so there's a degree of truth to that. The rest of the lyrics of that song, I think we should probably go through that at some point in the future. I don't think it holds as much water as I did at the time that it came out, but it's a banger. Yeah. It's an absolute banger.
And he talks about like 9/11. The enemies ain't Saudi. The enemies around me.
Yeah. Again,
like that kind of stuff is like.
I mean, that's one of the more sensible lines, to be quite honest. Like, you could take that as a metaphor that basically.
Well, that's another full episode, isn't it?
Well,
when we do our 9/11 episode.
Well, yeah, this is true, certainly, but yeah, I forget what they finished on. But it might have even been that, to be quite honest. But yeah, just
that would be apt. End of days, end of set.
Potentially. Like, I've seen Jedi Mind Tricks twice before. Both times before I saw him in Amsterdam, a place called the Melkweg. If you ever get the chance to go to Amsterdam and see a concert, like, do. It's a very, very different experience. It's not that different, like, but a bit different. But yeah, Jedi Mind Tricks just consistently. Like, this is the thing. When I first heard Jedi Mind Tricks, I don't even know why I'd got them. I think I'd you know, when you used to buy something on, like, somebody said something vaguely, so you buy it on a dare. I got the Servants in Heaven thing. And the opening thing is like, and I was like, okay, this is interesting, like big cacophony of sound. Mm-hmm. The opening song comes on, which I always forget the name, but it starts with that piano thing, like dun 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 dun. And to be honest, at the time, because I was listening to East Coast stuff, that first bit, if you just put a kick and a snare over that, that's a perfectly legitimate beat. But that's not what Stoop's going to do. Stoop's then going to bring in about 6 or 7 different bloody layers of different stuff. And then they're going to get whoever it is scratching all these incredible cuts from like other songs over it to sort of build the chorus out of samples. They are such an incredibly dense sounding band, Jedi Mind Tricks.
Stoop is one of the most underrated producers in hip hop. Yeah. Serious. He is amazing. His production has inspired my production so much over the years.
I tell you, one of the things that he does that no one else did, rather than, and this makes it sound like he's cheating, but he's not. Like, trust me on this one. It's an innovation. People would take chops or 4 seconds or whatever. Like, I'm sure he chops it or whatever, but he'll take like a surprisingly long sample. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, almost maybe even sort of like 64 bars or something. And that's the beat. And it goes here and it comes round and it goes up and it goes down and just all over the place. Like, the album that he
did on a journey.
Yeah. The album that he did with Cannabis as well. Like, that is
Rip the Jacker.
Yeah. And his solo album is just so good. Like, that's amazing. Like, I really can't get enough of his solo album. But like, that's the thing, Jedi Mind Tricks. And then Vinny Paz, just astonishingly, again, technical. Like, he's adding more and more flows as he gets older and stuff. But like, he was just, again, that hard, nasty, in your face, like battle rap, bang, 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 bang. Mm-hmm. It goes like so well over. You know who he reminded me of? He hasn't got the same flow, but nobody has. He reminded me of Pun. That's why I liked him.
Right. Yeah.
In the sort of the lyrical sense and the sort of the way that he uses multi-syllabics and stuff like that without falling into the lyrical swimming pool. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he's backpacky, but at the same time,
he also is like ripping your face off.
Yeah.
You know, he is like, if you listen to metal.
Yes.
Like, that's the same. It gives you that same visceral feeling. Yes,
exactly.
Like, the first time I heard them was Animal Rap with Cool G Rap. That was the very first song I heard. I downloaded it because Cool G Rap was on it, so I checked it out. And then Vinny comes in. Yo, bust a motherfucking gat to this. Y'all believe lies like yo, as Catholics are rapping Arabic. Yeah. Man, just mental.
Yeah, no, I'm the same. Like, but this is the point. He hits, doesn't he? Like, as you say, it's almost like a metal guitar or something like that. That's spot on. Like that's exactly what Jedi Mind Tricks do.
And the metal singer, like that's why I like Corey Taylor or someone like that. Who, like, when he screams, it's like he's melting your face off. You know, or the singer from The Haunted. That scream is just like,
yes,
that's what he gives me. like him and Ill Bill and other artists like that.
Yeah, totally. Necro and all of non-fiction, to be quite honest, basically.
But that's because they all are metalheads.
Yes, they are, aren't they? This is the strange thing. And they sort of probably formed. It was that weird time, wasn't there? It was skateboarding, really, I suppose, that brought it together. I think, because you've got metalers or people that are into punk and metal and stuff like that are watching the, like your 411 skate videos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they've got not just punk stuff, so you'll have Lagwagon and you'll have Bad Religion on there, and then they'll have People Under the Stairs. Or KRS-One or something like that, and it introduces you stuff. Again, people have got to appreciate, at the time, we didn't have the internet, so it took me so long to get hold of a copy of the Wu-Tang Clan's first album. Do you know what I mean? Because it was it was difficult to get hold of. Getting hold of Rugged Man album when his first one came out, that was nigh on impossible. Unless first you had to know that it existed, then you had to know of an independent record store, and then you had to pay the incredible amount of money to get it imported or whatever, or just for them to buy a copy so that they could sell it to you. The struggle was real.
I used to be able to get hold of it on the internet.
Did you?
Yeah.
Now I am an incredible Luddite. You must know this. This maybe everybody.
I got it in the same places. I got these conspiracy documentaries.
Well, I was getting. Where I started getting into the conspiracy documentaries and stuff like that? eBay, because there was buying DVDs off there. That was the breadth of my knowledge on the internet. I'd never been able to find anything on the internet, but I'm crap at finding stuff on the internet now, to be quite honest.
No, I was downloading videos on dial-up, and it would take 3 or 4 days.
Bloody hell!
Yeah.
Oh no.
That's how old I am, audience.
Well, I had dial-up, but I had no idea how to do any of these things or whatever. About the closest we ever did to that was we managed to watch a footage of Slipknot gig or something, when they first came out or whatever, and it was on a Real Player screen, and it was about 9 seconds, and it was about the size of my thumb. And so it was marvelous. That was a waste of time, and we were just trying to find out whether Slipknot were any good or not, because rather than go out and buy the album.
I heard them on a Kerrang CD. That was what I heard them
on.
Oh
yeah, no, actually they were great as well, Kerrang CDs.
Yeah, them good old Kerrang CDs.
Absolutely. I had loads of those
back in the day. But didn't know we were going to reminisce.
No, I've thrown them all away, sadly. But hey ho. But yeah, so JMT, Immortal Technique, Rugged Man, Poison Pen, absolutely banging, just brilliant. If people are looking for something intelligent and actually just good hip hop, any of those artists are well worth a listen.
Yeah, totally. Poison Pen, Cunning Linguists.
Well, this is the thing. This is how you get into these things. You watch Immortal Technique, and then you find out about his battle rap background.
That's where I saw him first, actually. I saw him battle rapping Jin on 106 on Park.
Oh, yeah,
he got called a rapist, and I was pissing myself.
Yeah. Have you seen?
He says, shave off that mustache, you look like a rapist. Oh, man, he absolutely got murdered by Jin. It was so funny.
Ah, dear. He lost to Iron Solomon as well, didn't he?
Did he? Well, that wasn't hard back in the day, man. Iron Solomon was killing it.
It was one line. He said, "No one listens to you, Technique. You're corny. The only time you'll get 5 mics is in a gay orgy."
There we go. Cancelled.
Now, at the time, again, that blew everybody's mind. I don't know if anybody watches URL or King of the Dot or anything like that, but you won't get too far with that. It's yeah, what else? But yeah. But yeah, back in the day.
Do you still watch battle rap?
Intermittently, not as much as I used to. I was really into it for a time, and then when Don't Flop came out, I'd been watching URL and Grind Time, and King of the Dot. I thought King of the Dot was perfect because King of the Dot had the gangster element, and it also had the funny element of Grind Time. URL, it's I've got a gun so big that I load it up with individual guns. Right, brilliant. Good, thanks. And there's only so many fat blokes in Jordans that you can watch, like saying the same shit over and over again. Like, he's banging. Like, I like, people like there's quality people on there, like Lux and stuff like that as well. But
yeah, and Charlie Clips
is great. Like, and
Hitman Holla.
Even like, T-Rex is great. They're all incredibly talented.
T-Rex is sick.
I like Shotgun Shug. Like, I always really like Cortez.
Yeah, I was watching Shotgun Shug versus Pat Stay today.
Yeah,
since Pat Stay passed away, that I just started like watching some of his battles, and then started watching other battles because they were being recommended. And there's so many battles I haven't seen like over the years, because I stopped watching them quite a few years ago.
I like the Pat Stay versus Calico. Calico does his first round, and Stay just looks at him and goes, "It's not enough. It's not enough." It's like, Pat Stay was almost like the perfect battle rapper. Like, he had the wit, the intelligence, the technique, and but he also had the credentials. Like, he totally had the credentials. Like, no one was going to fuck about with him, was they? Really? Like, it was, astonishing. Yeah, an incredible shame what happened to him. It was a
tragedy.
Yeah, he had so much to offer as well. You could see him, like, he had the charisma to sort of, I don't know, I thought he could be an actor, be in films, be a comedian. Like, do you know what I mean? He just had that presence where he held people, basically. I mean, you saw the stuff that he used to do with the conductor stuff, literally silence the crowd. That's crowd control. Have
you seen that they're doing a tribute show?
Yes. But I'm not entirely sure what's involved.
It's got Dumbfounded versus Roan.
Oh, nice.
Hollow the Dawn versus Sharon.
Really? That's interesting.
Yeah.
Like, I mean...
that'd be good.
Now, instantly, I'm thinking a 3-0 Hollow there, because, like, I mean, I like Sharon and stuff like that, but he's a bit corny. Like,
he sure
do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I mean, he did all right against Shotgun Shug and stuff like that. Like, but like, that's where he did the look at me when I'm killing you. Like, that was really good, actually. To be fair, so actually, now I'm saying it out loud. Maybe I'm completely wrong on that one.
Maybe he'll get one round. Maybe he'll edge one round. But I don't know, man. Or Hollow might just choke all time.
Well, potentially, but like, he's gonna have to be funny, isn't he? And you know what? Hollow the Don's got the ability to be funny. He's not like it, like, he's a URL rapper, but he was like, he was Grind Time, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was one of the first of them to like pop over to Grind Time. It was like him and Conceited, like they kept coming over to Grind Time all the time.
He did the whole like, oh yeah, you think you bad, you think you really busted Thule, yeah, in Call of Duty, like, to that guy that was really about it, wasn't it? Like, again, he's like, because he's got almost like a rep as like, because he went to jail, didn't he, essentially? But yeah, he came from that sort of witty background and sort of clever. Yeah, fair play. Right, it'd be interesting to see.
And Thesaurus is battling as well.
Who's he battling?
Kid Twist.
Kid Twist is back. Excellent.
Yeah. Thesaurus versus Kid Twist. That.
I'm just thinking back to when Soul Khan came back, and it wasn't that good. Like,
he's just dropped a new one.
Was he?
Yeah, he just dropped a new one.
Because Soul Khan, I used to really like him in the Grind Time era as well. Like, he was great. Like, and Iron Solomon.
Yeah,
like,
back in the days, he was good. He was
Iron
really
Solomon.
good.
Since Iron Solomon came back, he had the disastrous one against Murder Mook. Like, 5 rounds unlimited each of these. For God's sake, will this ever end? Like, and but then since then, he's been really, really good. Like, was it against B Murder? That one was just like, yeah, just brilliant. Like, really, really, really just quality. But yeah, all right. Well, that's something to look out for then.
Yeah.
divine harmony.
Scenes being set up for martial law. My screen's what I just saw was Bush's Reichstag. What a bloody facade. An evil man thinks he's God with a brand new upgrade to fear to install. It's propaganda version 1.8, the last and have enough. See, this can process more hate. Hey, can't you see through the bluster? Verbal toxic waste. Illuminati blood rules through the head of state. They wanna scan every face and key the data in a basement. School the world through the miseducation. Slowly condition us to depopulation. But I bet you could be safe if you're a Bilderberg or Mason. Or in another chapter after global domination. You're one manifesto in the many manifestations. I pay attention to the hidden games you play. And terrible and brilliant, the time to start engagement. The masses are in control. We claim the states, y'all, we claim the role. So we'll all march together on Bohemian Grove. Cause there's a battle here on earth for your mind, matter, and soul. Now we mind the masses are in control. We claim the states, y'all, we claim the role. So we'll all march together on Bohemian Grove. Cause there's a battle here on earth for your mind, matter, and soul. From 9/11 to 7/7, say when's it gonna end? There is no hell or no heaven. Let's recreate for our brethren the essence of a manifested expression and thought. You may make them laws, but we can break them all. We'll get together and sever your terrorist threat. We'll tear up the terrorist net. Tyrannical Tony, the terrible terrorist says, give up those rights, take this chip instead. 18 digits in your forehead. I must protest, all those are your goals. You can break our body, break our bones, it'll never take its toll. I know why that a story shall be told. Sacrificing care since the days of old. Now you're trying to stop the cycle, but the cycle cannot be slowed. I know the way karma regains control. Don't be afraid, let it all unfold. Cause there's a soul on the altar at Bohemian Grove. Let's go. We mind the masses are in control. We claim the states, y'all, we claim the role. So we'll all march together on Bohemian Grove. Cause there's a battle here on earth for your mind, matter, and soul. Now we mind the masses are in control. We claim the states, y'all, we claim the role. So we'll all march together on Bohemian Grove. Cause there's a battle here on earth for your mind, matter, and soul. We mind the masses are in control. We claim the states, y'all, we claim the role. So we'll all march together on Bohemian Grove. Cause there's a battle here on earth for your mind, matter, and soul. Now we mind the masses are in control. We claim the states, y'all, we claim the role. So we'll all march together on Bohemian Grove. Cause there's a battle here on earth for your mind, matter, and soul.